They say you can tell a lot about a person based on the shoes they wear. I love shoes, but what I love even more is the person wearing them. As we walk a mile, my guests and I will talk about the kicks we wear, but more importantly, what we do in them.
My name is J. Mallory McCree, and this is A Mile in These Shoes. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to AMNTS, A Mile in These Shoes. I'm your host, J. Mallory McCree, and today we have a very special guest who is no doubt a pillar of the community. He is a financial literacy author, a nonprofit leader, and the owner and co-founder of Solefolks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to introduce you all to Mr. Akil West.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Yo, welcome to the show.
Thank you for coming to Solefolks.
Oh, absolutely.
In Leimert Park.
In Leimert Park.
Yes.
Y'all ready for this? Hey, Akil, you ready to take a walk?
Yeah, come on, let me show
you
around.
Let's do it.
All right.
Are you from Leimert Park?
I'm originally from New Orleans, but when I came here from New Orleans, I was like 14, and I moved here in Leimert Park.
Okay.
So I went to Audubon High School up the street, and I went to Crenshaw directly up the street from here as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And why is Leimert Park so important to you?
Leimert Park was like the first place where I was able to see like black men owning businesses and culturally aware. Pro-black and business-minded and fashion conscious, musically inclined, art, you know, all that stuff, man, kind of just inspired me for the rest of my life.
So it's almost like the Harlem Renaissance, but on the West Coast.
Exactly.
Were you always fashion conscious?
Yeah, I was always fashion conscious, even when I couldn't afford it. You know, so like a lot of my friends, we were all in Leimert Park, at the park, and we would just figure out ways how to go to Beverly Hills and all these places and take clothing. And then when I got, you know, a little change, we decided to open up a clothing store. I had my first clothing store when I was like 19 years old in the Fox Hills Mall.
How did you know you wanted to own a store at 19?
Yeah, like I said, coming here and just seeing the boss energy that was up in here, it was just infectious. Once I heard that, you know, when you do what you love, how that quote goes, it's like not working.
Right, it's not working,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to work, I want to do what I love. And if I can do what I love and be a boss, then that's it.
How would you describe your style?
It definitely evolved, you know. At first it was like real brand oriented. I started looking at big designers like Ralph Lauren, Gucci, and Fendi and all those guys. And then, you know, eventually, you know, it became more powerful for me to start representing young black designers. We decided not to really support a lot of these other brands as much as we were going to support our own.
Right.
And yeah.
Real quick, we are here in Leimert Park, but can you tell the audience who doesn't know what Leimert Park is and where we are?
Well, Leimert Park is a black oasis in the heart of Los Angeles, California. This is the largest concentration of black millionaires and artists in the United States. You know what I'm saying? This used to be the space for black designers, jazz musicians, black galleries. You know, we want to coin the term for this area, the name, to be the Black Arts District. And that's the thing that we're working on right now.
Where did you get your business acumen? I mean, obviously you have built yourself up to be a businessman, you know, but also like giving back to the community. You guys are a nonprofit.
Right.
Like, how did that happen?
A lot of trial and error, brother. You know, like I said, I've owned a business since I was 19 years old. Obviously, as a kid, I didn't get it right the first time. And so I've owned everything from restaurants, coffee houses, clothing stores, all types of different things, right? I was an avid entrepreneur, but, you know, I still had the bullshit in me, you know what I'm saying? So I was cutting corners. Eventually, I ended up going to prison for one of these corner cutting situations, and I did about 14 years. And while I was in prison, I would meet a lot of young men and women, because there was staff who also wanted to be entrepreneurs. And they would ask me, like, how did you do this? How did you own this? How did you do all this shit? And you've been in here since you was 30, 31 years old, and you did all these things. And I was like, man, maybe I should just write a book, because I'm tired of taking these one-on-one situations where I'm trying to, you know, tutor or help mentor somebody. So I created these books and started creating courses inside the prison. And that's when I came up with the concept of Black-owned and operated community land trust.
It sounds like while you were in prison, you were a mentor and you gave a lot to other people.
Right.
But what did you take away from your experience in prison? What did you learn?
Well, one, I learned about karma, and I realized the things that I did to people, even though it wasn't something physical, you know, I was taking things that belonged to other people that some people even cherished. About 6 years into it, I started going into my case, and I started reading stories about these people. You know what I'm saying? I started crying in my cell, like, you know, because my mom ended up getting her place burglarized. You know what I'm saying? Wow. While I was incarcerated, I thought that was karma because my mom's kind of ain't never been right since because you feel as though like, you know, you've been invaded. You know what I'm saying? So I came up with the concept of coming home, creating a program to teach these young people, you know what I'm saying, how to bring their product to market, do some things for the community, and that's something I vowed to do, and I've been doing it ever since.
Tell me about how you started your company and your vision. Like, how did that happen?
I got myself a phone, and when I got the phone, you know, I started doing research, watching YouTube channels. There was this new thing called Google where I can find out anything and everything and learn how to do anything and everything.
Yes, sir.
So I studied how to create a book. Then while working in the law library, I started seeing a lot of cases about nonprofits and saw, you know, the need. And so I connected through an organization or a company called Fiverr and found someone to help me with just like anything and everything from making logos to follow my LLCs to actually create a nonprofit. And I was able to find a sister out of Detroit named Tracy, who actually helped me put it together. We got some great things that's happening, man. Everything from a 20,000 square foot space in Inglewood over by the SoFi Stadium. We're building what is called the New Black Wall Street. It's kind of like Solefolks times 1,000.
You're building the New Black Wall Street,
yes,
right? That's incredible. But on a personal level, how do you maintain? What's your day-to-day schedule look like?
My life is chaotic. You know what I'm saying? I'm moving. Like whenever it happens, I'm ready. I'm partnering with people who are like mine. I'm in therapy, trying to figure that out. You know what I'm saying?
Same here.
So people, a lot of my friends was talking about how great therapy is.
Right.
So I went and I found this sister who's amazing. Her name is Makita, and she's been, you know, helping me out, trying to get me on my regimen. You know, so I can figure out my routine.
We can't have a show about shoes and not talk about the shoes.
Right.
And I mean, obviously you got on these Jerry Lorenzo Fear of Gods. Can you talk about these shoes and why you like these shoes?
I mean, I love them. I love them. There's like, it reminds me of like Afrofuturism. You know what I'm saying? The brother did a really good job with these designs. I like the fact that he utilized his relationships with Nike to kind of like bolster his brand. Right now we're working with different corporations and we're utilizing their resources to kind of help young black designers have ownership in their own product. Tell me about these guys right here, brother.
Oh man, so these boys are from David Race, Black founder of Brand Black. I picked these specific shoes out because I like the canvas and what the canvas represented to me, and why I picked these shoes especially to wear on your episode was that it reminded me of putting that work in.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And everything that I have on from head to toe is a black brand.
Yes.
Now we are here at the
Solefolks
Art Lab. What goes down in the space?
We do all types of classes here.
Okay.
We have pattern making classes, seamstressing classes. People are learning how to sew for the very first time, but on industrial machines. We do live performances up here where people are kind of learning how to set up the stage, mic instruments, et cetera, because we understand that with the SoFi Stadium coming up in here, the Vision Theater across the street, and the Clippers Arena, there's going to be a lot of jobs that's going to be opening up, and mostly, you know, behind the camera or behind the mics, they never look like us.
Yeah.
So we need to create some type of platform or training mechanism to get our people streamlined into those industries.
Amnts is going to be launching our own brand. A lifestyle brand built out of the show. When you see somebody walking out with our t-shirt or whatever on, I want people to be like, dang, I wonder what their story is. But I've never created a brand.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through a mini lab of what it would take for our brand to, like, where do we start? How do we get to having our own Solefolks? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. First things first, who's your consumer? And then of connecting with a black-owned manufacturer, because you wanted to make sure that we could that it's touched by us all the way down the, you know, all the way down the line. This is Crucial. Crucial is also, he's also our the director of the Art Lab. He's been doing this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? He's been an artist as long as I've known him. We've known each other for over, about how long?
Too long, man.
Yeah.
Kids. Kids.
Yeah.
Teenagers.
Yes.
Yes. And through art, reconnect.
Yes.
And what does art mean to you guys?
It's giving me new outlets, man. When me and Akil got back acquainted, I was living in Skid Row. Still a community member of Skid Row, but I was actually living on the streets of Skid Row. They picked me up on a narcotic case, allowed me not to be able to have any money to rent once I beat the case. So I've always told people don't look down on those unsheltered. Absolutely. So instead of me running from it, I just decided to set up right there when I was a dealer. So I was like, okay, that was different, but can I do it this way? Because I've always telling anybody else from the outside, oh, you can do it, they do it, but I found myself contradiction or being a hypocrite. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna run. I'm actually gonna do it myself. And then actually the people can see, my neighbors can see that it's possible. Seeing me fall from being the dealer and the art dude and the organizer to now being in the streets with them right here on the same corner. For sure. This is the example, and it's allowed me to humble myself. Word. You know what I mean? So coming from there, I allow art. What art does for me now is it gives me a pathway to bring economic development for those that are in the streets.
He's teaching other artists. He does big murals for big corporations and things of that nature now. He's still utilizing his platform to do great things in Skid Row, all the way from the marketing to the visuals, everything, man. We have that group, we have that team. That's what we created upstairs at Solefolks.
So we are inside of the Mecca, Solefolks, the actual boutique. And as I look around, every brand that you have in here is a Black-owned brand, correct?
Most definitely, yes.
How do you curate each of the brands that come in here? How does that relationship work?
The style maven, her name is Ferris Mason. Ferris Mason has a company called Come Up LA where she used to go to different avant-garde locations and do these pop-ups before people started doing pop-ups all the time. With black designers, she brought it to the forefront here in Los Angeles. And so we partnered and would Come Up LA at different locations. So when I opened this up, I was like, look, man, you're not gonna be able to do Come Up LA as much. I'm gonna create a space where you can bring those same designers to Leimert Park inside of in a spot that kind of meets the taste levels of your the brands that you represent. And so with Ferris Mason at the helm of the ship, we got all these beautiful designers from all over the United States and even some people from the UK. Yeah.
You guys are a nonprofit, right?
Yes.
Why?
I wanted to go through the nonprofit because this is an educational tool. This is a campus more than it is a retail space. We're no different than the Girl Scouts of America who sell product, and the product is used as a fundraising tool. So these are fundraising tools. We barely make any percentages off the product itself that's being sold. We make most of our money off of operational expense, things from the corporations that help us to kind of pay the real bills and employ people and to assist these designers. My job was to create a space that's kind of like fail-proof, and that's why we're trying to buy this building, because the sole purpose is Black economics and ownership. And so, you know, this is just the first step. Check out upstairs so you can see what that part of the space looks like. So this space, we provide different equipment that normally designers aren't able to afford right out the back. So this is a direct-to-garment machine, which means you can create something on your computer and then print it right there on the garment. And then we also have our podcast. The podcast area is where designers actually can create a kind of like some media.
How does one apply to be a part of this?
Yeah, it's just a simple application. You know, you kind of put in that you have a product that you want us to see, and then you can become a co-op member, right? But then there's also workshops that we have that's over at the lab. Some workshops are here, and those are free for the community.
So anyone who applies, do they get in? Is there a selection process?
So there's a selection process with the retail space, like getting onto the floor itself. You know, we have a particular type of aesthetic that we're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Just like any other retail brand. And if your brand isn't there, we push you in the right direction.
You are really giving us a new platform. You're giving us a structure. You're giving us a foundation of how to do it.
Thank you, brother.
So I appreciate you. I thank you from the bottom, and I want to get involved. I want to be involved.
Definitely.
I want to just sit here, listen, take it in, talk about it. I want to be a part of it. And I think that's what it's all about.
No doubt.
So thank you for being here.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, brother. No doubt. No doubt.
I'm J. Mallory McCree, and this is Amnts, A Mile in These Shoes. And we'll see you on the next one.
What's the first pair of shoes you remember?
Some Converse,
How do you decide on the pair of shoes you're gonna wear?
based on the outfit.
Your least favorite pair of shoes?
A pair of old Pumas. They make my feet look big.
What kind of shoes would you wear at your funeral?
Shit, I don't care.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
It would be definitely something property driven.
What is your hidden talent?
I joke and say that I can't paint, but I'm pretty good at
And
painting.
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Probably trying to reduplicate this in Detroit.
Who would you want to play yourself in a movie about your life?
Wood Harris, my
Wood
man.
Harris,
Yeah, I want Wood
my
to do
guy.
it.
Could you describe in your own words what it's like to walk a mile in your shoes?
The long way. I went the long route to get here.